Hi there. Well, I'm back at my local airfield and I've got my Calmato Alpha Sport 40 here in front of me, and I still absolutely love this aeroplane. It flies really well, and if you've seen any of the previous videos I've done about the Calmato, the assembly and the flying of it, the maiden flight, then you'll know it had a Thunder Tiger 46 engine in the front. If you haven't seen any of those videos, have a look in the description below this video and I'll put some links to them. But anyway, I've been flying it with this Thunder Tiger 46 for quite a while and it flies really nice, but I fancied a change. So change is as good as a rest, and what I've decided to put in is a 4-stroke engine. I had a number of Saito 4-strokes, and I've got this 56 which I put in, which I think should be just about right, and I'm really excited in seeing how that flies today. Now the Saito 56 fits in there just lovely. It was very easy to swap them out and put it in. I've got a 12x7 prop on there, so it's quite a good size prop. It's interesting, in putting in this engine it all went fine, it went lovely, and then when I turned it over and looked at the air intake, I realised a potential problem, and I'll just show you that now and see what you guys think. And I'll show you how I've overcome that. So anyway, I'll just turn this over and we'll have a look. Well, as I said, the engine fitted in here lovely with very little difficulty. I had to redo the CG and just make sure that was spot on, but of course you would do that anyway, changing an engine. But what I noticed when I turned it upside down, having fitted the engine, was that the intake for the carb was pointing down and right below this nose gear wheel. Now, any dirt that comes off this wheel could well fly straight into that carburetor and get sucked into the engine, which, as you know, on a beautiful engine like this, or any engine indeed, it's not going to be a good thing. So actually, if you have a look at this picture, this is one I took, or somebody took of me back in the autumn, in November I think it was, when the field was really wet and I really wanted to fly. You can see the plane is covered in muck, and this inlet down here would have just got dirt thrown into it. So, wanting to protect the engine, I've made myself a cover that fits on the front here, and I'll just show you that now. Well, to prevent the dirt getting thrown off the wheel and straight into the carb, I've made myself this little cover here, deflector. This is 1.5mm ply and balsa on the front, just shaped to a little bit of a curve. And I've threaded through that some fuel line, which is going to connect to the breather, and then just bring this out the bottom of the plane. I'm going to sit this on these 1/4" pieces of spruce and just screw that into place with some hex head screws like I use for servos. So that will just fit in there nicely. The tube is going to go on the breather. I now need to trim this to length, probably just, I want to keep this as short as possible, so I'll probably just trim it about 40mm, 1.5", something like that, just to hang below the plane. And as I said, I'm going to screw that into place. I could have done just the plywood on the top here, but I wasn't sure whether having just a sheet of plywood there may act as a little bit of an aerofoil and alter the dynamics of the plane, and this plane does fly lovely. So I thought I would put this on here, this balsa, just with a curved face, and that would just hopefully negate that. Probably wouldn't matter, but anyway. I fuel-proof this with some epoxy and alcohol. I didn't really see the need in trying to colour coordinate it. It's on the underside of the plane, so you're not going to see it anyway. So that's my solution to trying to keep the engine running sweet and not sucking in all the dust and dirt and grit off the wheel. Today it's a lovely dry airfield, but towards the end of the year it does start to get a little bit wet. Well, as you can see now, that should be fine, and we should keep that engine safe from dirt coming into the carburetor while still getting a good airflow. So there's only one thing left to do. Let's see how this bird flies. Well, as you saw, this flies absolutely lovely with this Saito FA 56 planted in the front. I'm really pleased with it. From a performance point of view, I would say this has probably got the same kind of top speed as the Thunder Tiger Pro 46 had. But being a 4-stroke, you obviously need to think a little bit more about when you need that power, because it picks up just a little bit slower than a 2-stroke. But I am really pleased with this, and it sounds so good flying around. So I'm going to be leaving this in here, and I'm looking forward to flying this many more times. And this plane is fantastic, and having this 4-stroke in the front now just caps it off. I'm really pleased. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it useful. So please subscribe, like if you want, and thanks for watching.